And when the stars have burned to dust.
Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe, hit the bell for more content, hit the like, and please share it out. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about something different than Star Wars. I want to talk about 9/11. I was in Arlington, Virginia that day, which is basically, Virginia, but it's part of DC. I worked across the street at a nonprofit called the Leadership Institute from the Defense Intelligence Agency and right down the road from the Pentagon. And today brings back a lot of memories. The how beautiful that day was, the airplanes that we could hear flying over, that you heard every morning when you woke up, to go to work, going into Dulles and Reagan National. It was a perfect late summer, soon to be fall morning. There was no humidity, and Virginia is very famous for humidity. It was just a great day. I went to work out, came back home, took a shower, got ready for work, went into my job, talked to my boss for a little while over a cup of coffee, and got waylaid into the conference room watching Fox News because the first plane had already hit. Got a chance to see the second plane hit and said out loud, it's either bin Laden or Saddam. And my friend was like, who? And I'm like, I read the book, The Man Who Declared War on America. And it's a book I think everybody should have read when it came out, including our former president, who did nothing to stop bin Laden. And in fact, his fecklessness, his inability to move, cost us thousands and thousands of innocent American lives. I'm talking about Bill Clinton. I want to remember the victims that day. Rick Rescorla, who was a veteran of the U.S. Army and the British Army. He was a parachutist in the British Army, came to the United States, joined the U.S. Army, joined the 1st Cavalry Division, and fought at the Idrang Valley with Hal Moore. Remember, we were soldiers once and young. He was a Silver Star recipient, Bronze Star recipient, Purple Heart recipient, the bravest man that Hal Moore had ever met. In Hal Moore's estimation, he was the head of Morgan Stanley Security, got all their people out, went back in to find more, and was killed that day. John O'Neill, who had been the head of counterterrorism at the FBI, who was the head of World Trade Center security, was trying to help get people out that day. In fact, the day before, which is really weird, he was on a boat trip around Manhattan with his girlfriend and some friends, and basically said, "We haven't heard from my old friend Osama lately." Weird, prophetic thing to say. He was killed that day trying to get people out. Barbara Olson, the wife of Ted Olson, who was killed, the airplane that hit the Pentagon. Chick Burlingame, one of the pilots, the pilot of that plane that hit the Pentagon. We've got the men who helped stop another tragedy in Overshangsville, Pennsylvania, when they sacrificed themselves and brought the plane over a cornfield rather than into another building full of innocent people. The firefighters, the police officers, Father Michael Judge, who was a New York City Fire Department chaplain, who was the first confirmed death on 9/11. The loss of trillions of dollars to our economy. The fact that, for a few brief months, the United States was united. I remember when the war started, in Afghanistan, when they finally announced that we were attacking the Taliban, they announced it over the loudspeakers in giant stadiums, and the reaction of the crowd was like, yes! I remember getting a phone call. I was getting gasoline for my car, and getting a phone call basically saying, yeah, we're going in there, we're taking them out. And looking at the clerk at the gas station saying, we're in Afghanistan. The fact that I kind of suspected it would be a long war. These are not easy things. We're dealing with people we're not dealing with cosmopolitan Germans, Europeans of any kind. We're not dealing with the Japanese. We're dealing with people who have lived the same way for thousands of years. There's a term called the wealth of poverty. And he who has the most goats in Afghanistan is the rich man. Westerners like us don't understand that. We have a hard time dealing with the way they treat women. Connie Rice and her naivete of thinking they could democratize and turn Afghanistan into a republic is insane. Same thing basically with Iraq in lots of ways. And Iraq is far more cosmopolitan and sophisticated than Afghanistan. It's brings a lot of ideas on and or memories for me, because that all was going to happen, and now it has. The sense of anger still that I have, the sense of righteousness. When bin Laden died, when he was killed by Rob O'Neill, not by Barack Obama, I cheered. And the lack of humility Obama had in basically acknowledging the fact that the intelligence that was developed, used to take out bin Laden and Abbottabad, Pakistan, was begun when Bush was president. That's when they first realized that could be bin Laden there. All these things. And the rumors that started on 9/11, the Pentagon, the White House had been bombed. The State Department was on fire. The Capitol Mall was bombed. I mean, it was one thing, and on fire. It was one thing after another. The traffic, the confusion, but the outrage more than anything else. The tears of rage I cried. Sadness, yes, but tears of rage. I'm the daughter of a World War II veteran. My mother lost a cousin in Pearl Harbor. I felt the way, and still feel the way, about 9/11, the way my parents felt their whole lives about Pearl Harbor. You never forgive and you never forget. And that's how I feel about 9/11, the people who did it, the people who are still loose. Ayman al-Zawahiri, the Egyptian doctor who also had a hand in killing Anwar Sadat back in 1981, because he dared make peace with Israel. Evil doesn't morph. Evil doesn't just, like when the Nazis died, their evil didn't just die. It's almost like it's a parasite, and it morphs itself into something else. It was already morphing into radical communism in the Soviet Union. I mean, you can't deny the evil of Joseph Stalin and, 20 million Ukrainians that he starved to death. You can't deny the genocide of the Armenians that the Turks pulled off during World War I, which is the first genocide of the 20th century. Of course, the Holocaust is there. You can't deny Pol Pot's genocide. You can't deny the millions upon millions and millions of people butchered by Mao during the Cultural Revolution in China. Evil morphs, evil becomes other things that are evil. Communism, radical socialism, radical Wahhabism in Islam. And, you know, what we were facing on 9/11 was evil showing its hand. We had warnings about it, Kobar Towers, the embassy bombings in Tanzania, in Africa, and the Cole bombing, USS Cole. But we still weren't ready to face it until 9/11. And I don't know if we've learned anything. There's such a thing called false compassion, and the left in our country really likes to practice it. They really like the social justice warrior garbage, and 9/11 has not really changed their minds. In fact, they use it to beat the rest of us who just, want to live our lives normally, not have to worry about this crap. They use it to shame us for just wanting to keep tabs on people coming into this country. I don't want Osama bin Laden living next door to me. Do you? You would think people would understand. Inviting people that we don't know is a bad thing. But 9/11 brought out the best in people, and it brought out the worst in people. And that's another lesson I learned. Another lesson I learned is how incompetent our government is. We could have stopped Al-Qaeda in its tracks anytime we wanted. But Bill Clinton was a feckless leader when it came to doing what he had to as commander-in-chief. What happened in Mogadishu to our troops that day, they were fighting bin Laden, they were fighting Al-Qaeda, along with, and other radicals that day. And what happened to them should have been a lesson. And it wasn't. He wouldn't give General Grissom what he asked for to help, take these people out. It was, you can't run a war and be politically correct or let politics get in your way. And that was George W. Bush's problem too. So these are some of my thoughts in the aftermath of 9/11. It made me cry. It still makes me cry to think about it. Tears of rage. Yes, I cheered when bin Laden was killed. I got drunk off my ass. I was celebrating. But it's funny. Your enemy can be dead. Dead at the hands of your country. Dead at the hands of a blue-eyed boy. And yet, you want to make sure it never happens again. And you feel hollow knowing that there are people among you that are so feckless and chicken shit that they let it happen again. Because they're afraid to do the right thing. Or they are so insecure and hate themselves so much and project that self-loathing onto their country, to their fellow Americans, that they would allow it to happen again. That's another lesson of 9/11. So this is Steph, signing out. Sarah on the Galaxy.